No, anachronistic is when it's like the time period is like the
Yes.
1920s and someone is
Right.
saying, "Oh, that's so sick, bro." Like they wouldn't say that.
I wish they would. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to find a light that makes me look the least like a Victorian child on their deathbed. Hold, please. Welcome to Book Talk Etc., a podcast bound to grow your TBR. I'm Tina from TBR Etc.
And I'm Hannah from Handpicked Books.
This is a conversational podcast about books and more from two Midwest mood readers who are easily distracted by new releases. And this week we are sharing our February Books on the Radar.
If you enjoy listening, we'd love for you to follow us on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app. And if you have a quick minute, please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or sharing us on social media. It truly helps us connect with other book lovers.
Hey everyone, it is the start of a brand new month, so we wanted to take the time to invite you to join us on Patreon. Our Patreon group is such a wonderful and supportive community of readers, and if you've ever wanted your reading experience to be more social, this is a great way to find that connection. Becoming a patron is also a great way to financially support our podcast, to meet other readers, and of course, get access to our exclusive bonus content. For $5 a month, you get access to 2 bonus episodes and 1 live event, as well as invites to our BTE Discord server, Facebook group, and our monthly community read. You also have access to everything we've created since we've started, which at this point is so much. And you also help keep our main show ad-free. February is packed full of goodness. Our live event is one of our favorites. It is our classic mood reader happy hour, where all of the patrons are invited to join Hannah, Jonathan, and I to share their latest reads. And for bonus episodes, we are going to be selecting the community reads for the next 4 months so that our patrons can get their holds in. And patrons will also receive episode 2 of Bookstore Browse, The Hand Sell, where our featured bookseller will share personalized book recommendations based on patron-submitted listener requests. Our February community read is a buzzy one. It is Vigil by George Saunders. And this is about a spirit guide who must shepherd a dying, unrepentant oil tycoon through the afterlife. Needless to say, there will be a lot to discuss. So if you're interested at all, please head to patreon.com/booktalk, etc., or look for the link in our show notes. Thank you so much for your support. Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Tina. How's it going? How are you feeling?
I feel amazing. I have had half a glass of wine, and I'm going to have a little bit more as we're recording, because right now it's 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I'm also buzzing because we just finished our community read. So I feel great. How are you?
I am feeling the same way. I am feeling super energized. We just came out of our discussion with our patrons, and now we get to talk about it a little bit here. And I'm so excited
Mhm.
to do that.
What a cool group of people. If you're
I
listening,
know.
which probably you guys are, we love you guys. It's like the best group of readers, and it just always makes the reading experience that much richer. And we don't just read, our community reads together. We've been doing this month-long readathon, and I
Oh, that has
honestly
been so
just
fun.
love this group more so than I do, regularly. I just feel so close to them this month. So that's been a really fun time.
I do too. The readathon has been so fun. And thank you, Jen and Amy, for
Mhm.
helping us with that. It's just
Yes.
been wonderful and has given me an excuse too to even hop in Discord more
Yeah.
and chat about not only what we're reading, but also what we're doing. We've been getting, it's just been so fun.
It's been fun. It's been a really good time. I know we're like bragging. We're like humble brag. It's been the best time. It
I
is
know.
wrapping up.
I'm
And
like,
like
I need to
on
stop talking about it,
I
but it's
know.
been really fun.
It's been really fun. And honestly, I am sad. Like in January, we know is always a very cold month if you are in the Midwest. And I'm a little sad to see January go because we've been having
I
such
know,
a
me
good
too.
time with it. But alas, the show must go on. And I am slowly getting ready to talk about February. How was it for you trying to find your February reads?
Honestly, easy in the sense that there is a plethora to choose from. I mean, so many riches in February,
Mhm.
and I feel like in 2026 in general. I'm just so excited about this year's releases and this year for books and reading. Hard in the sense that it was kind of hard to narrow down exactly what I wanted to share. How about you?
Same. I was really debating if I wanted to go, okay, what are the ones I'm most excited about, but are
Yes.
probably super buzzy, or if I wanted to go with ones that are a little bit more, I don't know, not under the radar, but like maybe I wanted to spotlight a bit more. So I went with a little bit of a balance. I think you sort of did the same thing, right?
Yes, I did. And I wanted to mention a couple actually at the top of the show that I didn't include for my books on the radar, but that I am really excited to
Mm-hmm.
read. They're just getting quite a bit of buzz already. And so, like you mentioned, I decided to go a little more on the route of choosing books that I think maybe might need more of a platform to spotlight.
Yes, there you
But
go.
some other ones that I'm excited about are Keeper of Lost Children by Sadeka Johnson, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
Tina, you just posted that video of your predictions for book clubs in February. You
Yes.
said this felt like a Reese pick. I hope you're right. It
Me
seems
too.
totally like a Reese pick. You're
Doesn't it?
spot on with that. So well done with that guess. The second you said that, I was like, she's so right. That is totally on par with something that Reese would choose. There's another one called So Old, So Young by Grant Ginder that I have heard a
Mm-hmm.
lot about. Adrift by Will Dean. And then Ellie K. Wilde has a romance book in her Oakwood Bay series that's called If Only You Knew. That's coming out in February. And I know a lot of romance readers are going to be buzzing about that one. So those are all books that I'm excited about, but I won't be officially bringing them to
Yes.
the radar. Do you have
Same.
any that you are excited about that you're not going to be featuring on the radar, but that you're eager to read?
I do. I only have one that I would add to that list, and it's Kin by Tiari Jones.
Ugh,
I am not
yes.
alone in saying we've been waiting years for the next Jones book, and I'm almost nervous. I get so weird about it when books that I'm so excited for, I'm like, oh, but I don't know. I don't know what's the right time. Should I pick it up now? And now's the time. It's February. It's pub month, so let's get cracking. That is one of my goals is to not like
Let's get
hold on to
cracking.
these books that I'm desperate to read until for what? I don't know, a rainy day, I
Totally.
suppose. But
We all
yes,
do it.
we all do it and we also have so many good ones. But before we get into our book list, we'll kick things off as we always do with our loving latelys. And my loving lately is something that we got for Christmas from my parents, and it is the Skylight calendar. Have you ever seen
Nice.
this? Of course you have.
Yes,
Mhm.
I would love one. They seem
I
so great.
I have been victimized by ads for this because it's like, is your family busy? Well, here's the thing that'll be just the ticket. And I'm like, finally, my dad loves Costco and he asked me, and I was like, you know what? Can I have a Scarlet calendar? Anywho, it is a Wi
Nice.
Fi connected digital calendar that coordinates the schedules of everyone in the family. We got the 15-inch one. So it just sort of sits on our kitchen counter. What I love about it, you can have 4 different calendars, one for each however many people you have in your family. They're all color coded and there's an app too. So I have the app and I can just look at it and see, okay, like today was a crazy day with a half day. There was a dentist appointment and a bunch of random things that don't always happen predictably. So it was great to like pick that up and be like, what time was that appointment? Was it 4? Was it whatever? Now you might be thinking, we'll just use a calendar. Sure. You could do that. I find this to be easier for us because you can also do the thing that I love, which is, oh, I'm at the kids' school. There's a flyer and it tells me that pajama day is in a couple weeks. Great. Take a picture of that, text it to your Skylight calendar or send it, and then it automatically puts it on your calendar, which for me is
That's so
fantastic.
helpful.
I love that feature. I do believe you have to have the like pro feature or whatever. It came with our Costco one for a year. I'll probably re-up it. It's stupid expensive, but I'm also like, if I'm using it and it's working for us, I'm probably gonna continue to do that. It also has a ton of other things too. It has, you can do like to-do lists on it. You can do grocery lists. You can also put little lists for kids, like their to-do list, which I think is
Oh,
nice.
nice. That's helpful.
Very helpful. It's got weather. It also has meal planning, and you can
Mm,
send recipes to Skylight, put them in your little meal planner. You can even order through Instacart on this thing. Like, I'm like,
stop.
you're making it too easy for me. Very customizable. And, I don't know. I don't have any negative things to say. And when it's not showing the calendar, it's actually photos. And I love that. That has been so fun to have going. It's like a digital photo frame essentially. And it's fun because these photos live in my phone. We don't often look at them, but the girls will be walking by and they look very similar to each other. And so the little one will say, "Oh, is that me? Look, it's me." And I'm like, "No, that's your sister. You just weren't around yet. So
Oh,
you don't
you were a
recognize it.
baby.
You weren't here yet." So it's cool. It's a really, really fun thing. And I feel like, okay, if you have a lot of things that you're managing, for us, it makes sense and it's worth the splurge. Anyway, I've been loving it. It is my Skylight calendar. And that's it.
I feel like the photo feature is great.
Hmm.
I love having photos just rolling like that, but I didn't know that about the recipes and that you could send
Oh, yeah.
recipes to it for meal planning.
Oh, yeah, baby. And then you can
That's the
put the
highlight for me
ingredients. You can take the ingredients from the recipe and put them in a shopping
in your
list.
list.
Yeah, it's really
That's a
good.
game
It's
changer.
a good one. Yeah, it's real unbiased. I wish they were paying me. My goodness, they're paying every other influencer under the sun to
I
promote them.
know.
But we got this with our hard-earned Costco money.
Yes. Nice, nice, nice. My loving lately, funny enough, is also something that we got for Christmas from my
Oh,
mom. And it was something that we got for my kids. And we have really been enjoying it, especially my 8-year-old. It's the Crayola Light Up Tracing Pad.
oh yeah.
And it is exactly what the title implies. It is a tracing pad and it glows from it's backlit. So it has an LED glow. And it has quickly become one of our favorite screen free activities. I feel like this is great because it gives kids just enough guidance to build confidence and learn the drawing skill, whether they're tracing letters or shapes. Or what my daughter does is she actually puts drawings from coloring pages on the bottom and then puts a tracing page over the top. And it allows her to be able to learn how to draw without taking away her creativity. After my kiddos are done with the tracing, they enjoy coloring the pages after.
Hmm.
So that's really fun. The gentle light makes it really easy to follow the lines. And this honestly helps also with fine motor skills and handwriting. And it's just calming in a way that screens aren't. And it's become a great we are a very screen positive family. So I love gaming, I love TV, all of that good stuff. But every once in a while, it's nice to have that before bed
Yeah.
non screen for that calming. Screens are just hard at night. And this has been something that's different, that's a little bit outside of their normal routine and has been a helpful before bed activity for them to do. So my daughter, it's funny, we read every night before bed, but lately she's been like, "Can we add more things into our bedtime rotation that are different, like maybe drawing or tracing or,
I
something like
mean,
that?"
just
And I'm
spitballing
like,
here.
"Well, we're still going to read every night,
Yeah, right.
but we could add maybe some more activities like this before bed." So that has been something that she in particular has really been enjoying. And my son likes it too. He is 4.5. And that is the Crayola Light Up Tracing Pad.
What a great gift. That is definitely something we could use in this house. They like to draw, but mostly they
Yeah.
just like to open markers and leave them unopened on my table and let it dry up. And it makes me a little bonkers, but
Oh,
you
that
know
is
what? That's
so
really
funny you mentioned that
wow.
because one of my friends texted me today and literally was like, my son just took all my mild liners or like 5 of my mild liners and took the
Oh,
lids off and
mm,
they're mild liners. I mean,
right.
if you know, you know, you
If
know?
you know, you know, right? No, this is their Crayolas, but I do have beef with
Oof.
Crayola because they make it freaking hard to get the little, you have to squeeze really
You
hard
do.
to
They are so
click.
hard to
They're
close.
hard to close.
I do the
And
slam on the table
love a
method.
slam on the table. I should really teach them how to do that. But it's
You
making
got to
me
put it
nuts.
on and then
You just slam it on the table anyway. But no, that sounds like a lovely activity. Okay. Would you like to chat?
I would love to chat.
Would you like to chat more? Okay,
Yes.
so we had our latest read is our joint latest read. It is our community read that we just finished chatting with our patrons. It is Skylark by Paula McLean. And y'all, this book, man. Okay. Okay. I'll tee us up and
Yes,
tell
tell
you
us
what it's
about it.
about. I will tell you what it's about and then we can get into it. And honestly, I said this in the chat, but I have to admit, this was one that Hannah suggested and I have read Paula McLean before and I was like, "Sure, let's do it. Sounds great, beautiful cover." The synopsis wasn't giving for me because it's about a master dyer. And I was like, what's that?
Sounds artsy.
Sounds artsy. You know, I don't like artsy books
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
can't visualize anything. So I was very nervous. But I will say there's not a ton of that. We can chat more, but it's about much more than, you know, sort of the dyeing process. You've got two point of views. The first is in 1664. They both take place in Paris. And in 1664, it's that of Alouette Voland, who is the daughter of this master dyer. And she secretly longs to create colors of her own. But of course, because she's a woman during this time period, she's not allowed to. And she actually ends up getting put in an asylum where thousands of women are held against their will. And while she's there, she makes some allies and they sort of forge this dangerous path toward freedom. You're also following Christoph Larsen. In 1939, he is a young Dutch doctor beginning a psychiatric residency, and he ends up, you know, his neighbors are whatever, up or downstairs. He ends up becoming friends with the family, and they are a Jewish family. And then Nazis descend on the city, and his loyalty and skills are tested in ways that he had never imagined. And so the book essentially is going through these two very disparate, in terms of time period, points of view, and you're following these characters. So I know what you thought, but would you like to tell the listeners what you thought?
Yes, I would. I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I thought that each point of view was great. There was definitely like some periods, there were definitely some points of view that I maybe preferred, but ultimately I loved all of them. I felt like this was such a timely read. And gosh, I don't know what else to say, honestly, except for just gushing about it. Why don't you tell us what you thought, and then maybe we can talk about some of the details?
Sure, of course. So I also loved it. I swear to you, and I do this often. I'm like, I don't know about the synopsis, historical fiction. It sounds like it's slow, it's long. And I was like dreading grabbing it, frankly. I am so glad that I loved it. Now, here's the thing. Here's who I am as a reader. When times are tough in real life, I tend to like to read heavier things. If there's two, I like escapist reads, but they tend to feel silly for me if in real life things are hard and I'm like, it doesn't work in my brain. I'm like, this is not working. This is not the time. I know some people are great with escapist reads. I'm the opposite. I like to lean in. And for this reason, I loved this book. There are so many passages that I highlighted and underlined and annotated. And I think what the beauty of this book is that you're getting these two very different time periods and you're being reminded that history is familiar. History tends to have a pattern. It tends to repeat itself. And I loved that. The author put to word so many things that I was feeling. I read this over the weekend and I was reading, I don't even remember. I was reading something else and I was like, it was sort of one of those books that tells you it's supposed to be funny. And I was like, this is not striking the right tone for me. Let me just dive into Skylark because I know I have to read it anyway for our discussion. And my goodness, I read this in the course of like 2 days.
Tina texted me at 2:30 in the morning when she was like on the last bit of it, which if you know Tina, you know that is a weird time to get a text from her.
Yes.
And so, and I
to be fair, it was in
early
Slack.
The next morning.
It was in Slack.
Yeah. Well,
And
I mean, either way, I welcome a 2:30 a.m.
Absolutely.
bookish message. I'll read it in the morning.
I wasn't reading it. I was just up chatting with Jonathan because he was wrapping a few things up. He had worked. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot to tell Hannah, WTF, yada, 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 this about the book. Like, what do you mean? And like, it was fun. But I literally sent it at 2:36 a.m. But it just goes to show how moved I think I was by the book. I knew you were ahead of me too, which I kind of liked actually. I like that you were ahead so I could just know that I could say things without, worrying about it, how far you were into the story. And I also loved that there's these dual time periods and I'm thinking, I don't know, how are they going to make sense?
How are they going to do it?
How is she going to do it? And let reader trust in the author. This is not her first rodeo and she did it.
Totally.
I loved both of these time periods. Oftentimes when there's dual time periods, I'm like, oh, let's get back to X or let's get back to Y. Nope. This time I was
Mm-hmm.
truly invested in the characters in both time periods. And I love how she was able to have them go parallel in a not so obvious way.
Agree. I like the way she connected these timelines, and without spoiling anything, I think it will surprise a lot of readers at how she pulls this off in a way that is nuanced and creative, but
Mhm.
also very, I don't know. It's nuanced and creative, but it also does really tie the timelines together and these stories together. And I feel like it was a great reminder at how we are all connected to each other, even in small ways, in big ways, in, just this thread of humanity that we all have together with one another. And I think
Abs-
that's an important reminder always, of course, but especially right now, it just felt really good to read that.
Absolutely. And I love that she was able to do this in a way that was very accessible.
Yeah.
Meaning you might think, "Oh, it's another World War II book." And she sort of acknowledges that in her author's note. She's
Mhm.
like, "I write historical fiction. I never wanted to get into World War II books because I feel like I didn't have anything new to add." But I love that she was able to give us some things that I didn't know about, but also
Totally.
things that felt familiar. Like, yes, I, was aware of X, Y, and Z, but sort of, I don't know, give us a different lens, I guess. And did it in an accessible way that I, it's emotional and it's spelled out, but I liked that. I wanted to see the words that she put on this
Mhm.
page because, again, I've been having my own thoughts and my own feelings about some parallels of things that are happening today. And then to read it in a book, I'm like, are you a soothsayer? Like, how did you know?
I had the same thought. I was like, did
Yes.
she, like, have some weird
Yes.
foreshadowing of what was gonna be
Yes.
going on? Because the parallels were jarringly familiar. And yeah, I had that same thought. And I also wanna echo what you said too, just about the this is World War II fiction. Again, it's been done many times, but there were facts not only about World War II, but also specific to the location in Paris
Yep.
that even if they weren't wholly new, there were small granular details about those things that I didn't know. And it was great to be able to dive even deeper into those things that
Yeah.
were a little bit more, yeah, granular and specific.
Oh, absolutely. And then you also have the one character who is training to be a psychiatrist. You know me, I ate that up
Yep.
and I'm writing down
Yes.
things. I'm like, oh, I know what this is. I know what they're going to be doing. And you're seeing like the early days of medicine where they're like leeching women to
Yeah.
purify their blood. And I'm like, oh my God, they're humors, not the humors again. Like it was just, she did so much
Mhm.
with this story. I, it was emotional and definitely made me cry. Well, I was gonna say it wasn't too heavy. It's definitely heavy, but it was also respectfully heavy. I don't know. I don't know how you write a World War II story without making it heavy.
Yeah, it was heavy in terms of subject matter, but there also was so much tenderness and warmth to it that
Yes,
I
yes.
didn't leave the book feeling depressed.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, and I feel
Exactly.
like there are books like that where it's like,
We're
man, there was no thread of hope through that. I just feel
bummed.
yucky. Like I am
Yeah,
bummed out.
bummed
And
out
there's a time and a place for both, right? But I
for sure.
think I think that I liked that this one had the tone that it did, and that
Hmm.
we were still able to come out of it feeling hopeful and
Yep.
warm, but also there were some really, like, just crushing moments that happened as well too.
Yes, this is a standout read, man. I love it so much. Speaking of Celebrity Book Club, this was GMA's pick for January. I
Mhm.
mean, I got to start paying more attention to GMA because the more I look at it, I'm like, they are actually the one that I have the most success with. I thought it was Jenna, but I think it's actually GMA. But to
It's
that
which is
end,
interesting because GMA has, like, different judges often.
right. But they still manage to have a voice that I
They
feel
do.
like is their own, although I think it's less strong than some of the others, obviously, because it's different people. All in all, don't care who picked it. This was a fantastic book, also excellent for book club. And we both highly recommend it. I also gave it 5 stars. I didn't say that, but this one is going to for sure be on my favorites of the year list. I don't see how it couldn't be. I loved it. I'm giving it
Yay.
a hug.
Giving it a Tina's spending some time hugging her book.
Also, it's beautiful for those of you that can see me. Look at how gorgeous this book is. Are you joking me?
Yeah,
And
the
I
cover is really pretty.
cover's gorgeous, the colors, and I told you I was like, I don't care about colors, but I'm like, no, the colors of this book are definitely worth, making a little noise for. It's even
I
pretty
love when
without the cover. I mean, truly.
I love when the inside, when the inside of the hardcover, not the dust jacket, but the actual
The end
hardcover.
pages, is that what these are called?
Yes, the end pages. How when they have like a design or that's so nice. What a nice touch.
The
It's
care
the
that
little
was put into
things.
this book. Yes, fantastic. Moving on, I suppose. But yes, we are going to dive in. That was a January release. We are going to dive in and give you some more February releases that'll hopefully also give you this sense of happiness when you finish them, or sadness, or whatever it is that hopefully they make you feel. Can I just dive in? Is that what happens next?
Yeah, dive in. Tell us about our first February book on the radar.
I'd be happy to. It is Good People by Patmina Sabit. And this one comes out on February 3rd from Crown Publishing. And okay, this one is blurbed by Khaled Hosseini. And he says, Good People is a stunning read. I could not recommend it more enthusiastically. What a spectacular triumph this book is. This is the Afghan novel I've been eagerly waiting for, which is incredibly high praise. Okay, so here's what it's about. It's about the Sharaf family, and they are the picture of success. They're prosperous, rich, happy, and they came into this country as refugees with nothing more than the clothes on their backs. And now, after years of hard work, they live in the most exclusive neighborhood. Their growing family attends the most prestigious schools. Zora, their eldest daughter, is the apple of their father's eye. But then an unthinkable tragedy strikes. And I'm like, what's going to happen? And it leaves everyone reeling, and the family is thrust into the court of public opinion, one of my very favorite subgenre sort of tropes. There is talk that behind closed doors, the Sharaf's happy household was anything but. Did the Sharaf family achieve the American dream, or was the image of the model immigrant family just a facade? Like a literary game of ping pong, Good People compels the reader to reconsider what might have happened even on the previous page. Told through a kaleidoscope of perspectives, it's a riveting, provocative, and haunting story of family, sisters, brothers, mothers, fathers, and the communities that claim us as family in difficult times. Excuse me. That sounds absolutely incredible. As we're recording this, Book of the Month picks have been announced early this month, and this is actually one of the Book of the Month picks. So if you're a member over there, go ahead and get you a copy. You probably already have, but this one is Good People by Patmina Sabit.
Good one. The cover for this one is simple, but it's kind of doing it for me.
You like it? Yeah,
I like it. I could
like
see
the
someone not
colors.
liking it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like there's a part of me that wants to not like it because I feel like it's not, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I feel like these colors shouldn't go together, but they do.
I
It's kind of doing it.
I really like this weird kind of color scheme they got going. It's sort of and I'm bad with colors, but it's like a mustard yellow and maybe some sort of
over like a
tealish
teal.
Green, like a aqua,
or like
green?
a mint, almost like a mint
Minty
green and aqua. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm struggling to talk. You guys, it is late.
Please enjoy our descriptions of color.
Wow.
I've never seen color in my life. And I'm like, you're right.
Listen, we are doing our best. We're here to talk about books, not color schemes.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, I will tell you about my first book on the radar, and that is The Secret of Snow by Tina Harnesk. Do we hear your name in authors and characters in books very often? I feel like we do not.
I can't think of another Tina author. I'm sure there are some, but in my head. Can you scoot the cover over? I can't see it.
Yes. I always have to put it in front of my face.
What a cutie pie. Okay.
Yes, it is a cutie pie. This one is translated from the Swedish also. I love reading translated fiction, so I love that. And this story introduces us to two lives that don't seem connected at first, but of course, as we find out, they are. First, there's Ma, and she's eccentric, 85 years old, and dealing with a cancer diagnosis. glad that they let us know that right off the bat. She's determined to keep this diagnosis a secret, however. She is focused on one thing: protecting her husband, Biera, and making sure that he will be cared for after she's gone, even if that means carrying this burden by herself. Then we meet Kaj, who is a newcomer to the village who's recently engaged and still grieving the loss of his mother. And when he stumbles upon a box of handicrafts that she left behind, it opens a door that he didn't know existed, one that connects him to his heritage in a way that will quietly but profoundly shape the rest of his life. This is a novel about grief and legacy and the unexpected ways that the past reaches forward to meet us where we are. It is tender, thoughtful, deeply human, showing how love and identity can surface when we least expect them, and how even small discoveries can change everything. I love books where, again, we just talked about this in Skylark, where there are these two kind of seemingly totally different and opposite journeys. And as I'm sure we'll find out, these storylines in their lives connect. And I love books that connect two people in this way, or even two groups of people. This sounds like a really quiet, soft, and meaningful read. It sounds really good. That's The Secret of Snow by Tina Harnesk.
That sounds great. And like you said, kudos to you for bringing books maybe that you want a platform that aren't going to be getting as much
Yeah,
buzz.
haven't heard much
'Cause that
about
one
this.
sounds really good.
I agree.
No, I have not either. My next one is going to be a very interesting, I expect. It's called Murder Bimbo by Rebecca Novak. I'm holding an arc in my hand, so it looks like the title's weird, but it says somebody had to do it. And now the final cover is out, and we can put that on the screen so y'all can see it. But it's basically a bleeding American flag. This one's coming out on February 10th from Avid Reader Press. And it says Murder Bimbo is the Gone Girl for the Luigi Mangione era. And Rebecca Novak is one of our funniest and most acerbic new writers. Comps for this are Yellowface and My Sister the Serial Killer. And this one is about a 32-year-old sex worker who is shocked when she's approached by undercover government agents, spooky, to help aid them in a top secret plot to assassinate a politician known as Meat Neck. I don't love that nickname.
I don't either.
I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it. But once the deed is done, she realizes what made her the perfect recruit. She's 100% disposable. Holed up in an off the grid cabin in the woods, she now only has 2 days, her wits, and a laptop to save her own life. Her best bet is to reach out to the wildly popular feminist investigative podcast Justice for Bimbos. In a hastily typed series of emails, the newly minted Murder Bimbo explains how she was recruited and then trained by a cabal of code-named U.S. agents to take out Meat Neck. Then she opens a new email, and this time it's addressed to her ex. And the facts line up a little bit differently. This is constructed in 3 increasingly unhinged acts. Each is a more twisted story than the last. This can be read as a gloriously bold literary thriller, a satirical megalomaniac's manifesto, or a raucous send-up of the political insanity we all live inside every day. Either way, it's a dead serious announcement of an electric new voice in American literature. I don't know, man. I
Sounds
think this sounds
wild.
good. Sounds wild. I'm also looking and sort of quickly glancing to it. I've seen the F word so far. I see a lot of emails. I think there's dialogue as well, though. So it's not just emails, but I do think you're getting a lot of mixed media in this one. But hey, I am interested. I'll vet it for us and bring it back to the show. This one is Murder Bimbo by Rebecca Novak.
Yeah, please vet it for us. I want to hear you talk about that again and share your thoughts.
I sure will.
Okay, my next one, I am so excited about this one. I found it today, and I'm so glad that I discovered this
Ooh.
one because it hadn't been on my radar until today, but I'm glad I found it. It's called The Fourth Princess by Janie Chang, and this is coming out February 10th from William Morrow. This story takes us to Shanghai in 1911, and it leans fully into a lush, gothic, historical atmosphere. We follow our main character, Lisan, who is thrilled to become secretary to Caroline Stanton, a wealthy American newly settled at Lenox Manor on the edge of Shanghai's international settlement. But The house comes with dark history, and before long, Leeson's childhood nightmares resurface, along with haunting visions of a mysterious woman in red and an unsettling attraction to the manor's young gardener. Caroline is newly married and hoping that China will offer her this fresh start, but also she finds her past catching up with her when an unwelcome guest threatens to expose her secrets and her husband falls mysteriously ill. So these strange events escalate, and Lisan begins to uncover the truth about her own hidden past, all while she's questioning her sanity as Lennox Manor seems determined to not let her go. This is pitched as a gothic historical novel full of secrets, identity, and a house that may have a will of its own. This sounds so
Yes.
fun, good, gothic, spooky, maybe. I just think that it sounds great. And I'm so excited that I came across it today. And that is The Fourth Princess by Janie Chang.
That is one I have not heard of. So good work on
Right?
you. Yeah, had not heard of that. My next one is already out in the UK, but I got it as a recommendation from the pastel bookshelf, Carly. She was talking about it, and I was like, I need that immediately. It's called The Good Girl by Michelle Dunn. This is a thriller. The question it asks is, would you know a serial killer if you met one? Grace Murphy doesn't seem like the type of woman who'd have a man cable tied to a chair slowly dying in her house. She keeps to herself and goes through life relatively unnoticed, working as a barista and caring for her sister, providing her with wholesome meals and a clean home, things they never had as children. Detective Inspector Jerry Hughes knows about Grace's brutal and troubled childhood. His own life was profoundly affected by it. So when men start going missing in the city, men who seem to have nothing in common aside from a physical resemblance to someone from Grace's past, Inspector Hughes must dive back into the past to face a terrible truth playing out before him. So I think this one's been previously published, but I'm okay with that. I think this is going to strike the right balance of being a popcorn thriller,
Mm-hmm.
essentially. It's going to be ridiculous and nothing you would ever want to happen in real life, but also wildly entertaining. So that is what I'm looking for with The Good Girl. And again, it's The Good Girl by Michelle Dunn.
Oh, that sounds good. I am bringing a serial killer book myself
You
later
are
on.
fantastic.
Yes, I will get there, but noticing some patterns here. Okay, I will tell you about my next one. It is Strange Animals by Jared K. Anderson. And this is one that has a wonderful cover. I love it. It's so striking. This one is coming out on February 10th from Ballantine Books, which is an imprint of Random House. And this one starts with everything falling apart. After a series of strange, unexplainable encounters, a man named Green ends up alone in the Appalachian Mountains, frightened, confused, and starting to see creatures that absolutely should not exist and don't in his world. That is when he meets Valentina, a recluse who has spent centuries studying the hidden world of cryptids, a world that Green is only just beginning to glimpse. It is under her guidance that he is introduced to time stopping giant moths, cyclops squirrels, and doorways to other places, all while slowly uncovering the truth about who he is and why he was led there. Green finally finds a sense of purpose and belonging as a dangerous threat emerges, putting everything that he has come to love at risk. This is pitched as cozy, which is kind of interesting. I'm not getting cozy, particularly from that synopsis, but
No,
we will
no.
see. I'll give it a chance. And it's also pitched as magical fantasy filled with strange creatures, found family, and the idea that wonder might just be hiding in plain sight. This one sounds really fun and adventurous and also very different. And I'm excited about it. That is Strange Animals by Jared K. Anderson.
That does sound wild. I don't know that I've heard. Was it Cyclops
Yep,
squirrels?
that's what it said. Cyclops
Okay.
squirrels, time stopping
Yeah.
giant moths.
Sure,
We'll
of
see.
course. Yeah.
I'm going to give it a
That sounds
chance.
like my personal nightmare, actually.
Yeah,
So
with
thank
the
you so
moths.
much. With the moths, yes, thank you so much for bringing that. Okay. My next one has one of the more striking covers that I have seen recently. It is called Family Drama by Rebecca Fallon. And this one comes out on February 3rd by Simon and Schuster. It's got a picture of a woman in this gown with like her back exposed, holding a kid, and there's another little kid on the ground. And she's like in this beautiful evening gown in the middle of her kitchen. It's
It is a
lovely.
really pretty cover.
Yeah, it's so good. And this one is a debut that's said to be a powerful meditation on family, motherhood, and the cost of holding on to your dreams. And it's for fans of Anne Napolitano, which I
Mm-hmm.
am. It says in New England, Susan Bliss is a young mother married to a professor. In LA, Susan Burns stars in the soap opera Beloved Coast to Coast. Decades after she's gone, her twins have no idea of their mother's fame. But the past can't stay hidden forever. So it starts in 1997. It's snowy, it's New England, and two befuddled 7-year-olds watches their mother's body is tipped overboard in a boat. It's a Viking funeral followed by a raucous wake. 15 years earlier, Susan is a blazing, beautiful young woman, passionate about her art. It's impossible not to fall in love with her. And so Alcott, a professor, does fall in love with her. And so begins a love story of Susan's two-paneled life, an unconventional, jet lag fueled arrangement that takes her back and forth between New England as a wife and mother, and then LA, where she stars in the soap opera. And in the present, Susan's twins grow up in the shadow of her all consuming absence. You've got Sebastian, you've got Viola, and then Viola runs into her mother's old co star, Orson Gray, who's now a renowned Hollywood star, and she finds herself falling deeply in love with him and begins to put the pieces of her mother she never really saw. I don't like that, but I'm going to continue on. This one I think is supposed to be really good, and I like the idea of it. And again, I love a good debut. I feel like this one definitely has potential. It's called Family Drama, a novel by Rebecca Fallon.
I love a debut and love a comp to Anne Napolitano. That is
Yes, right?
promising.
Yeah.
Okay, in case anybody was worried about me, I did in fact bring a horror book today, and I'm going to tell you about that
Phew.
next. And it's maybe the one that I'm the most excited about from my list. It's called She Made Herself a Monster by Anna Kovacheva, and this is coming out on February 10th by Mariner. This sounds so good, everyone. This book leans hard into the idea that we create monsters so we have something to blame and something to destroy. It is set in 19th century Bulgaria and it follows Yana, who travels from village to village staging fake vampire attacks and then convincing terrified towns that monsters are the cause of their suffering and then saving them by getting rid of the threat. But everything changes when Yana arrives in a village plagued by relentless illness and loss, where a young orphan named Anka has been labeled the cause of the curse. As Anka faces a forced marriage and has no way out, Yana steps in, and together they come up with a plan to invent a monster so terrifying it could give Anka her freedom. Of course, the plan spirals beyond their control, and things go from there. This is inspired by Slavic folklore, and it is said that it is dark and a feminist fable about power, fear, and what happens when women decide to take their fate into their own hands. And that is She Made Herself a Monster by Anna Kovacheva.
I mean, sounds fantastic.
Right?
It also does sound, you said folklore
Yes.
kind of
Slavic
inspired. That
folklore.
Slavic folklore, yes, that doesn't surprise me when you were reading out the full synopsis. Very, very interesting.
Agreed.
Okay, I will wrap things up with The Shape of Dreams by April Reynolds. I've had this on my radar forever. And okay, it's set in the mid 80s in East Harlem, and a 12-year-old black boy's murdered body is found by Matilda Twin Johnson, an unlikely hero who is both the neighborhood's troublemaker and its conscience. When she breaks a cardinal rule, don't call the cops, her decision ensnares a community and brings unimaginable grief to her mother, a postal worker and army widow who is determined to solve her son Tyrone's murder. Her quest galvanizes the neighborhood. The neighborhood is a character in itself. It's got Mets fans, it's got gossips, immigrant shop owners, and latchkey kids. And the local dreamers include a charismatic man of the cloth, a teenage girl with a Whitney Houston voice and no prospects, and Anita's opinionated friend Wanda, whose truant son the police harass and arrest on a regular basis. Everyone is struggling. Anita, Wanda, and Twin, the triad of this vibrant novel, are drawn to the neighborhood drug trap, while a singer, preacher, and church ladies who follow him believe their dreams can shape a city. Will the three be able to break away from crack's dangerous allure? Will the Reverend's pressure on authorities to find Tyrone's killer yield answers? Will justice come to East Harlem? This is about the summer of 1986 in this very specific part of New York, and it's about how this community comes together or doesn't come together to fight for a better life. That sounds interesting to me, and it comes out on February 3rd. It is The Shape of Dreams by April Reynolds.
Good one. I'm glad that you brought that. I hadn't heard of that one before. My last one is the serial killer book aforementioned. It is How to Get Away with Murder by Rebecca Phillipson. And this is coming out on February 24th from St. Martin's Press. It's a debut thriller, and the premise is pretty wild. A Scotland Yard detective is investigating a murder that may have been inspired by a self-help book, one that literally claims to teach readers how to get away with murder. Detective Inspector Samantha Hansen has just returned from a 6-month leave after a breakdown at work, and when a 14-year-old girl is murdered, she's determined to prove that she still belongs on the force. The biggest lead is a copy of How to Get Away with Murder, found in the victim's backpack, written by a mysterious man named Denver Brady. Brady claims he's the most successful serial killer of all time, which is why no one's ever heard of him. And as the book goes viral and Sam digs deeper, she starts to realize there is so much more going on than the author is letting on. To catch the killer and get justice, Sam has to learn to trust her instincts again before somebody truly does, in fact, get away with murder. That is How to Get Away with Murder by Rebecca Phillipson. Yeah,
that
sounds
good.
messy and good. I don't always love following detectives, but this sounds different. This sounds like more of a thriller and a little bit less a traditional mystery.
But if they're a Scottish detective for some reason,
it could
that's
work.
Fine. Like you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
I don't know why. In my head, though, I'm like, sure,
I agree with you, though.
That goes together.
Totally
right.
agree.
I like
Scotland Yard detective. Bring it
on.
on.
Scotland Yard detective. I mean, there we go. We will wrap things up with our current reads, and I am so proud of mine. It is My Darkest Prayer by S.A. Cosby. I have been meaning to read this book for a long, long time. It's even peeling. Like that's how long I've had this book. It's only been a couple years, December 2022. I'm so proud to be reading this though, because it's my last S.A. Cosby book. You know, he's my favorite author, and this is actually his debut. It was released, I think it was independently published first, and then after Blacktop Wasteland, they reprinted this, and I'm really enjoying it. What my favorite part about reading this is drawing the parallels between this main character, whose name is Nathan, who works in a funeral home, to some of the other characters that S.A. Cosby has written now later in his career. He remains one of my very favorites. This one I'm doing a tandem print and audio. It's also narrated by one of the best in the game, Adam Lazare White. So the audio narration is 10 out of 10. And I'm almost done with this. And it honestly just hit me. I'm like, after I read this, no more S.A. Cosby's until he writes his next one, which made me a tiny bit sad, but I'm very much enjoying it. I say I'm enjoying it. It's gritty though, babe. Like
his
it is
books
not.
Are.
It's like his other stuff. Yeah, it's a lot. But I'm enjoying my reading experience. That's My Darkest Prayer by S.A. Cosby.
I'm so glad you're enjoying it. What a kind of bittersweet moment.
Bittersweet.
What a bittersweet moment. Like fun to cross that off your list. But as you mentioned, now you're not going to have another one until he comes out with a new book. He does seem to do that often enough,
right? So I'm not going to be waiting like 5 or more years. Hopefully, I bet we'll get one in 2027 is my prediction.
Ooh, I love that prediction. Oh, that's so fun. We got to write these predictions down. You're so good at predicting stuff. We got to start making a list.
My notebook. 20.
Please do.
John,
we'll come back
hang
to that.
on to this clip for a year.
Okay, my current read, I'm finishing this up, and it is my first nonfiction of the year, and it is called Every Day I Read by Huang Bo Room, and it is literally just a collection of why we read and how to get closer to books and how to make your reading life richer. It asks, these really expansive questions of how to have a more meaningful reading life. It talks about quiet moments of introspection and reflection, mostly about this author's own reading life, but it's really cozy and really sweet. And I feel like it's a perfect book if you are a really avid reader. And I'm loving it. It's called Every Day I Read by Huang Bo Room.
That sounds great. How did you get this on your radar?
I think it was an ALC
Ah,
and I just downloaded it and I'm really glad that I did. It's just so cozy.
comforting, cozy, right book at the
So
right time
comforting.
type deal. I love
Mm-hmm.
it.
Totally.
Good. I know. I thought I hadn't heard of it. Maybe if I saw the cover, I would recognize it. But I'm glad.
Even the cover is
Sounds
cozy.
like it would be cozy.
Yes.
Well, folks, our time has come. That's it for today. We thank you for spending a part of your day with us. Links to all the books mentioned can be found in the show notes. And if you enjoyed today's episode, you can help us by following us wherever you listen and by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us get our show out to new listeners and grows our audience. And don't forget, if you'd like access to exclusive bonus content and community, you can join us for $5 a month on patreon.com/booktalk, etc.
If you'd like to connect with us, you can email us at booktalketcetera@gmail.com. You can also connect with us both at Booktalk Etc. on Instagram and YouTube. You can find Tina at TBR Etc. and Hannah at Handpicked Books. Talk to you next week, and in the meantime, remember,
everything's better with books. I have another serial killer book, so I want to see if I can maybe pivot. Because I don't
want to talk about serial killers too much.
That's like a lot of serial killer books.
It's serial killing books.